Hello, Colas, and welcome back to Viva Barca. Welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on some interesting updates. We start with this report claiming that Barcelona are ranked the second most valuable football club in the world. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about La Liga president Javier Tebas, who recently explains how Barcelona registered Kounde, saying that no help from the league. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it in much detail, please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking this video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca, Barca, Barca. Although Forbes magazine is not heavily invested in European football, its report on finances of European clubs is often a talked about subject in the world of football. In its customary annual report on the top 50 most valuable sporting clubs across the world, Forbes has listed a number of footballing teams, including the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Chelsea, among many others. Although not even one of the football teams make it to the top 10, Real Madrid have been labeled as the most valuable football team, with a valuation of around $5.1 billion. It is slightly higher than Barcelona, who are second on the list in terms of football clubs and 15 overall, with a valuation of $5 billion. Interestingly, it appears the football teams have had a slight dip in terms of their positioning in overall Forbes list that was published last year. But both Barcelona and Real Madrid have been able to increase their valuation. In fact, Barcelona had a higher valuation than Real Madrid last year, with the Catalans also sitting fourth on the table, just behind New York Knicks, New York Yankees, and Dallas Cowboys. This time around, Barca are 15, whereas the top 10 has been dominated by NFL teams. Dallas Cowboys are once again at the top with a staggering value of $8 billion. Nevertheless, Barca's improved valuation comes in the midst of a massive economic turnover that saw the club bring in $692 million in revenue. It safely makes the Catalans not one of the biggest clubs in European football. However, Barcelona's flowery period could soon be over, especially if the club failed to live up to the expectations after building a formidable squad. La Liga president Javier Tebas has already warned Barcelona to lower their salary mass if they are to sustain themselves next year, especially given the fact that the club will not be in a position to activate economic levers next summer. So looking at the investment, the heavy and risky investment Barca have made this summer in order to build a formidable squad, it comes with its own risk, as we all know, because buying this squad with the risk that Barca have taken in order to bring the funds, by selling levers, by taking debt and things like that. All this is so risky, but it all depends on how the team performs, of course. Barca brought in world-class players because they know very well that these players will help our team to win titles. And just imagine that we fail to live up to the expectations. It's going to be a disaster for Laporta and his administration, and that might be a risk when it comes to our liquidity, our financial sustainability, and let's pray that Barca don't reach that level. So Barca, according to the Forbes magazine, when it comes to football, they are the second most valuable football team in the world, with an amount worth $5 billion. Real Madrid being the first with $5.1 billion. So it's great to see us being second when it comes to football clubs around the world, when it comes to the value. So talking about the investment, Barcelona still have the risk because Laporta is doing this with his board, knowing fully well that the squad might bring us the joy because the team is really having squad depth and we have to win titles, because if we don't, then this club will be risk of bankruptcy. Then moving on to the next story of discussion, in a recent press interaction, La Liga president Javier Tebas offered a series of inputs regarding FC Barcelona and their current economic situation. He also offered his thoughts on the Antoine Griezmann issue over Atletico Madrid, suggesting that the dispute can be resolved in court. But it was his comments regarding Barcelona's financial policy and inflated wage bill that served as the highlight of this interview, with Tebas stating that Barcelona have to activate more levers to further reduce the wage bill. It is impossible for them to maintain this wage bill for the next season. Tebas' comments come in the aftermath of a busy transfer window for Barcelona that saw the club sign no less than 8 quality individuals. But with the club still yet to get rid of expensive players such as Frenkie de Jong, Gerard Piqué and Jordi Alba, the salary must remain extremely high. Tebas explains that there will be no leavers next year. We will see what can arise from the sale of players. It is very difficult or rather impossible for him to maintain it next season. The president of La Liga also shed light on Kounde issue, clarifying that Spanish football had made no favors to Barcelona by allowing them to register the Frenchman. He said, "There has been no help from La Liga with Barca. To register Kounde, Barcelona had to provide a personal guarantee. Barca were not at risk of bankruptcy. They have plenty of assets, but they have to control and reduce their wage bill a lot," he said. Apart from Barca's economic policies, Tebas was also asked about the situation revolving around Antoine Griezmann. With Barcelona now seeking legal measures against Atletico Madrid for intentionally limiting the player's game time, Tebas believes only the court can resolve the situation, which is subject to arbitration. He said, "Griezmann, the issue of Antoine Griezmann would have to be determined by an arbitration tribunal for external jurists, and in 6 months there should be a decision which would not be subject to appeal," he said. Although Barcelona have threatened to find legal solutions to the matter, Atletico Madrid board remain undeterred by the Catalans' attempts, as they believe they are well within the rights to exploit the loophole in the Griezmann's contract. La Liga president Tebas in this interview trying to, emphasize that Barca have to be so careful next season when it comes to the wage bill, saying that Barca will not cope with these players' wages next season onwards. But he was trying to clarify that it doesn't mean Barca will go bankrupt. That will still have a lot of assets. And when we look at another thing that he tried to emphasize is the fact that Barca will not be able to sell any economic levers next season. So he's just trying to tell Barca that they should better look for a way to regulate that wage bill before next season, because it's not going to be good for them if they don't do so. So let's see how it goes. When it comes to financial fair play, Barca have always been a victim for Tebas, always putting his mouth on Barca's matters and things like that. Barca still have some heavy wage earners: Gerard Piqué, Jordi Alba, Busquets, Frenkie de Jong. But I think everything will be okay. I don't think we should have any reason to worry. Players like Busquets, Alba might leave next season, but Frenkie de Jong I don't know if they will leave. But let's see how it goes. Barcelona are confident that they have done things within the laws of the Spanish league when it comes to financial fair play. Tebas even said we have not broken any law for financial fair play this time around. So next season you have to be very careful, but I don't think Barca should panic, because some players will leave. Some players with huge earnings will definitely leave the club next summer. So I think Barca will be working well according to the laws of the financial fair play. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.